Hi, this is Lester, and welcome to this little tutorial video I've put together. This is going to be similar to my last one, which was the Waterless Mob Grinder, which came in very handy for a couple of Dan's maps because he didn't give you water to start with. But that's why it usually rains on Dan's maps, isn't it? But this one is more of a traditional Skyblock mob grinder. So I'm on this regular looking Skyblock island, and we've got the sand island over there as well. And we've got the chest here with our bits of ice and lava and a couple of extra bits and pieces as well, just to get us going. So at least we could get a cobblestone generator going and get some blocks and start expanding and growing trees and so on. But yeah, what I'm going to show you is what I normally build for my mob grinder. I've developed it over a few years, and it's slowly got better and better. And it's very similar to the Waterless one, but it normally only has one level. I mean, you could put an extra couple of levels on it, but I've never found it increases the spawning rates. So I usually just leave it at one level, and it produces the mobs that I need, the mob drops and things that I want. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to build that. I have got what I need in my inventory here. Obviously, you're going to want some planks of some description. You can use cobblestone if you wish. I find it a bit ugly, so I'd rather use wood. It's a bit nicer looking. You're going to want about 27 stacks of a block. Like I say, in my case, planks, cobblestone, whatever you want to use, about 27 stacks. And some of that is going to be in slabs, some of it in buttons, a few trapdoors, some ladders, chest to store your goodies in. Later on, when you've got iron, you want 9 hoppers as well to put on the bottom. You're also going to need a piece of sand from that sand island and a piece of cactus. I've also given myself a sword and an axe just for later on. So we're going to get started with the basics. That's pretty much all I'm going to need for the time being. And yeah, we need to pile out from this island in some direction. I'll probably go this way. I think that'll be as good a place as any to start. Now, what I normally do with Skyblock is I would normally go down to the bottom of the island and make that my base down there. But just for the ease of the tutorial, see, I've done that wrong already, haven't I? That's where I wanted it to be. There. Right, so I've come on a lower slab down here so that the idea being that we don't get any mob spawning on our pathways, because that's not what you want, especially early on when you haven't got any torches or anything like that. You want to stop things from spawning. So I always use lower slabs on all mine, and you should too. It's just good practice, really, you know. So we're going to go out from the island. I don't know. It doesn't have to be that far these days. The way it used to be, you had to be at least 24 blocks away from the island. Spawning rules have changed now, and they are in a bubble around the player. And that bubble starts at about 24 blocks and goes out to around 50, 55. It gets a bit thin up the top by then. That is below and to the side. That's all around the player in a bubble. Jane has done a great little video on the mob spawning rules, which is very worthwhile digging out and looking at. If I remember, I shall put a link down below in the description so you can have a look at it for yourself. But it basically explains how the mobs now spawn, and it's between sort of 24 and 55 blocks away from the player. So obviously, if you move, that spawning area moves. So we don't have to be that far away because the mobs are going to be spawning up in the air anyway. And we normally go 23, 24 blocks up anyway. So I normally stick it quite close to my base now these days. So let me, I'll go out a little way just for the sake of, you know, you can see it working and it's not overshadowing the island. And I think then what we'll do is we'll create a little base. Minimum is sort of 7 by 7, that kind of thing. What's that one? 2. I'll do one more on this side and then we'll do the other side. There. So we've got ourselves a 7x7 pad. Again, it's all lower slabs, so nothing can spawn on here. We don't get any unwanted surprises. Nothing's going to spawn here. Right, and what we're going to do is we're going to have a section in the middle here, which is going to be about 3x3. So we're going to fill in this middle bit here, and this will be where the mobs will drop. And just for the ease of it, I'm going to put a block here. Now, what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to build the bottom first, just so you can see how it looks, and then we'll start going up. Because there's a couple of options. Obviously, early on, you haven't got iron for hoppers, so you can't put hoppers down there. That would be something you would do later on. So what I normally do is I use trapdoors. And that means that the mobs have got something to drop onto, and at least I can get the drops that are falling in the middle. So I'm going to put a trapdoor there, and then I'm going to have to sneak so that I can place trapdoors on trapdoors, like that. I'm going to come around the side and do the same, 1, 2, 3, and go around the other side and do the same again. 1, 2, 3, there we go. Right, so we now have a pad of trapdoors like that, and that will be our landing pad for the mobs for the time being. And what you can then do later on is you can put the hoppers underneath, and you can leave the trapdoors there. It stops the mobs getting stuck in the hoppers, you know, especially if you get baby mobs or something. And the XP as well. The XP can get stuck in hoppers. So that kind of helps. You know, you can leave them behind. You can take them away if you want to, replace them with carpet, whatever you like. But you put the hoppers underneath, chests to one side, and you've got an automatic collection system. Nice and easy. And also this way, you can open them and run in if you get something stuck in the middle, which usually happens, you know. They always land right in the middle and you can't quite reach it. So at least this way you can open that up. Hang on. Like that. And you can run in and get the stuff in the middle. Anyway, right. On with the tower, because that's the next thing we need to build. So I'm going to jump up on top here. The bottom will get removed for the most part. If you want towers so that it looks like it's actually sitting on the ground like that, you can do that in the corners. I find they kind of get in the way, but just for the sake of showing it, I suppose I can put the blocks on here and you can kind of get an idea. We need a little bit of a starter anyway, because we need to do that kind of thing. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be building up like that. So I'm just going to put these across here. I am doing this in sort of survival mode. It's kind of like a fake survival mode in that I'm in creative, but I'm not flying about. I'm doing it as though I was in survival. Just so that you can see how it's done without me flying around like a lunatic and building it as if by magic. You need to know how to do this in survival mode, so that's what we're going to do. Right, next thing we want is ladders. I normally do about the drop down the tube, the collection tube here, around the 23 mark. It depends what you want. I mean, if you want everything to die, then you can do it at 24 and pretty much everything will die apart from the mobs that spawn with armour. But if you want to use this as an XP grinder as well, then you want it a bit lower. So you maybe want to be 21, 22, something like that. And the way I do that is I only carry enough ladders to get me to the right height. So you decide how high you want it, 21, 22 blocks. I mean, the good thing is if you go too high, at least you can just raise up this landing pad. If you've gone too high and that everything is dying, you just put these trapdoors a little bit higher and the mobs won't die. If you're too low, then you've got to go down. That's a bit more difficult. So it's better to go too high than too low. So I would recommend 23 ladders. You can see the first block isn't actually going to have a ladder on it like that because it's already got a trapdoor on it there, you see. But all you do is jump up and then you can get up it anyway. So 23 ladders, which gives you a 24 block drop. and then we will get to the top of the tube and we'll go from there. I'll leave these corners on. You don't need these corners here. You can leave them off because they're not absolutely necessary, and it will save you quite a bit of wood because that's, I don't know, a stack and a third just in this tower if you miss out the corners. So feel free to miss out the corners. They're not necessary. They don't let in light, anything like that. You've got to do something in the corners. If you have no corners at all, then it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It just saves you a bit of wood. But aesthetically, it looks nicer with the corners. I think you'll find a nice squared off tube looks nicer than something that's got a funny edge on it. Anyway, I'm going to finish this tower. I'm going to go up 23 ladders, and then we'll see where we are from there. So that's the top of the tower done, and we used 23 ladders. So we've got a drop of 24 all the way down to the bottom. Oh, look at that, we've got sheep as well. Hey, get off my grass. Stop eating it. I'll have to go and have a word with them in a minute. Right, so now we're at the top here. We want to start building our water channels. Now, what we want to do is go out from this hole. Obviously, water flows 8 blocks. So we want to go out 8 blocks, including this first one. So this is the first one, 1. And we're going to go out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to come back another one. So these water channels are going to be too wide, as you can see, like that. Yes, it's off center. There is a reason for this. There is an actual purpose for this, which I will explain to you. I'm going to put a block there and come along, excuse me, and fill this side in. Let me get this end bit. There we go. Now, obviously, we need to close this bit in so the water doesn't fall out, because that wouldn't be very good otherwise, would it? So I'm going to show you this one, and then I'm going to go around and do the rest of them. Let's see, we want one there as well. Yeah. Okay, so that's one layer, as you can see. It's only 1 high. We're going to go up 2 high. So we're just going to whip along here another row. So we've got a 2 drop on our water channel. Reason for that is so that when the mobs fall in, they can't jump back out again. So they get washed away quicker. So first of all, it means that we get rid of our mobs down there, and new mobs can spawn up here because they're not in this area. Obviously, the game will look for mobs, and it can stop spawns if there are some up here. So we want to wash them away quickly, 2 drop, so that they can't get back out of the water. The next thing we're going to do, we could actually put the water in, I suppose, but I'll do that after I've finished all of them. The reason that it's only 2 wide instead of 3 wide, because the chute is 3 wide, look, is for the buttons. If I grab the buttons, there we go. And what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to put buttons all the way along here. And those of you that built my Waterless mob grinder will know why. In that mobs think that that is a solid block and they can walk across it. So they do. And because this is only 2 wide, that looks like a completely flat surface. They can walk straight across it. So that will encourage them to drop off into the water, get washed away, and fall down the bottom. That's what we want. So that's why it's only 2 wide instead of 3 wide. It just encourages them to walk off the edge without thinking there's a hole there. So I'm going to do the rest of these water chutes. I'll finish them all off, all 4 of them, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. So there we have 4 waterways all the way around, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see they're in kind of a spiral arrangement, so that they kind of follow each other. You know, you can see that. So the next thing to do really now is to fill in the corners, which we're going to do, and that is just simply a case of going along backwards and forwards filling in all these blocks so that these will be the spawning pads. This is where the mobs will spawn. So give me a minute and I'll get this done. And they will have 4 spawning pads. So this is as large as it's going to be. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could go out another couple of blocks around the outside and give you a few extra spawning pads. But this one's quite effective at this size. So I wouldn't waste your materials, to be honest with you. So we've got the spawning pads, we've got the buttons. Now it's going to be a case of putting up some walls. So the easiest way to do that is probably to go up a couple, like so that you're up 2 high. You could even go 3 high, I suppose, because we need to be 3 high. And then all we want to do is just walk around, putting up the walls as we go, like so that they're 3 high. You can see them there. Hang on, there we go. You can just about tell they're 3 high. Hopefully you can anyway. Now the decision here then is how tall do you want this to be? I normally do mine 2 high, and that is because I'm not really concerned about getting Enderman in here. If you want Enderman, then you go an extra block higher so that your spawning areas are 3 tall, and that will spawn Enderman as well. And they will fall down there and they will teleport about, and if you've got some valid blocks down there, they will teleport down there as well. So it depends if you want to fight the Enderman or not. I prefer not to initially. I can always make a little spawning area at some point in the future to get Enderman, but I find them a bit of a pain, really. But it's entirely up to you. Just bear that in mind. If you want Enderman, make it 1 block taller, because this that I'm standing on, apart from the slabs I'm going to put on top, this is the roof. So this is as high as it's going to be. All right. So yeah, the height you want it to be, and all the way around, 3 high, 4 high, whichever you decide. 3 high all the way around. There we go. Right. So the next thing we really need to do is slabs. We're going to slab the roof. Now, some of you guys will use torches on the roof. I used to use torches on the roof as well, and I stopped using torches for a very good reason. Torches stops hostile mobs. It does not stop passive mobs from spawning. So what you do is you'd cover the roof with torches and you'd still get cows and chickens spawning up here, and they will stop your mobs from spawning inside. So if you slab the roof, nothing spawns up here. I know it's quite a lot more materials, but it's effective because it means that what spawns inside and gets washed down the tube where you can kill it and get the drops that you want, rather than things being up here, being a pain and stopping your mob spawner from working properly. So I strongly advise you to slab the roof. So I'm going to slab it from this side. I find this easier. If you want to, you can kind of plank the whole roof first and then slab it, but you can actually do it from down there. So once you've got this outer ring on of slabs, you don't need to be up here at all. You can go down and finish it off from the inside instead. So I'm going to quickly slab this roof all the way around, and then we're going to drop down the inside and start on the roof. Like so. There we go. Right, so you can hardly tell the difference, but it has actually got a layer of slabs all the way around the outside, and that will stop spawns. So what we're now going to do is drop down here, and we're going to take a running jump. There we go. And we can get at the slabs from the bottom. Just get past these few, and then it's going to be a lot easier. There we go. Watch where your channels are, don't fall in, because it's a pain getting back out again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this roof in sections. I'm going to put slabs all the way across the roof. Oh, I fell in. Typical. Right. There we go. We're out again. Yeah, so yeah, don't forget to mind the waterways. Luckily, there's no water in there, so we didn't get washed away. But yeah, I'm going to finish doing all these slabs first, and it shouldn't get too dark because obviously they still let the light through. So just give me a minute. Right, so that's slabbed the roof, and as you can see, it's still nice and bright in here. We can see everything. So let me see if I can make this jump. Yes, just about. Right, so now we need to finish doing the planks everywhere so that it's too high, as you can see. Already started, so we're going to carry on here. And again, we're going to try not to fall in these waterways. Actually, I just thought, before I do that, it's going to get rather dark in here pretty soon, so I think we need to deal with the other things. I forgot to bring water up, but I want to show you what these are for. Most people will probably know what these are for if you've ever played in a Skyblock world and built a mob grinder. You'll have had problems with spiders clogging up your tube because they come down here, they fall down, they climb up, they fall down, they climb up. They're a real pain. So, yeah, what you can do is you can put in a piece of cactus. The way you do that is you put in a block in the center there for the sand to sit on, and then you put a cactus on top. And any spiders that come along here hit the cactus and die. But you still get the drops because the drops still drop down there. So you get plenty of string and spider eyes and things like that, but it stops it from clogging up, because that's another thing that can slow down your mob grinder, is spiders getting stuck in here. So that's the reason for the cactus. Anyway, cactus is in. We should probably put the water in as well, I guess, because otherwise we're going to be doing it in the dark. That's never a good idea. So you'll have brought with you 2 buckets of water, and I can never find it when I want it. So if you have 2 buckets of water, what I would normally recommend you would do is to block off one side and put your 2 buckets in here so that you've got an unlimited water source, and then you can deal with that afterwards, you know, taking it away kind of thing. But that's the way I normally do it, because that way I'm not running up and down the ladder getting water. But for the purposes of this, I'm going to do this in lovely creative mode because it's a lot easier. Put one there, and one there, one there. There we go. So we've got all our waterways in, and they're all flowing into the center perfectly because they're 8 long, as you can see. So anything that's in that waterway can't get out and gets washed down and goes down the tube. And that's what we wanted. Right, I'm going to finish off this roof, and then we'll see how it works. Right, so as you can see, as I finish off putting in these planks, it's getting darker and darker and darker. And we've only got this one left. I just wanted to find out where the ladder was. Yeah, the ladder's over there, so we're going to have to try and get across. That's going to be fun. Right, I think it's going to get dark now, so just bear with me a second. Oh boy. Yeah, that's really dark. You might be able to see a little bit. Let me just try and... No, I couldn't get over there. Get out. Ouch. No, I couldn't get out of the water. Right, let me go back up. Let me do this properly. So if you've planned it correctly, what will happen is that when you finish the roof, you will be over this side. Hang on, let me just get up here. There we go. Right, so yeah, what you want to be doing is finishing the roof off on the side where the ladder is. Hang on, where's the ladder? I can't. No, I know it's there. It's... I know it's here. Look, you can see the top of it. There it is. It's just there, look. So you want to make sure you're finishing the roof off over this side so that you can just drop into the water stream and get on the ladder. like that. There we go. We're on the ladder. See, we're just standing here on the top of a ladder, standing in midair. Right, and then what I would do is get my trusty axe, and I would aim at the ladder and destroy them as I go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way down like this. And I'm just going to destroy them until I get to the bottom. There we go. We're at the bottom. Right, let's drop out of here. Fantastic. Oh, we've got a piggy now. Sheep have gone and the pig reigns. Yay! Piggy! Okay, just to finish this off, as you can see, we've got an issue that if we have any baby zombies, we're going to have trouble. So we're going to use some more slabs around here just to stop them from getting out. Like so. And if I go around the back, I'm going to do these as well. There we go, like that. Don't really need that at the back here, so I'm going to get rid of this. Oh, there's our first drop, look. Wonderful. Now, I would leave these lower slabs so that you can walk under and collect the bits that you need to collect. What you may have to do is replace these bottom ones, because obviously eventually these are going to be hoppers, but for now they are not. So we need to be able to get in there and collect the stuff. And if these slabs are here, we can't get in. So what you would probably have to do is chop these out and just replace them with lower slabs like that, so that at least you can run in and get what you need. That was another one. There we go. So something lands in the middle. Not that one. I think I've done this one wrong because it's... Yes, this was the first one I placed, wasn't it? Normally what would happen is that when you're on this side, you could lift this one up and run in and get the stuff that's in the middle and then back out again. And that is pretty much it, really. What you could do, if I get rid of this stuff, I'm going to grab the hoppers and chests, is at some point in the future you'll get enough iron to get some hoppers, so you can then put in, well, the way I do it, hang on, let me do this properly, because this needs to be a little bit bigger. Oop. I'm just going out another couple like that. So what I would do is put in chests, 1, 2, 3, like that. And then I could come around to this side with my hoppers. And, ooh, that was a bit frightening, wasn't it? And obviously I'm crouching to place hoppers onto chests. And I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 there. 1, 2, 3 there. And 1, 2, 3 there. So now we are completely automated. Anything that drops is going to go into the hoppers and into the chests. And we've got plenty of storage because we've got 3 chests, and we can soon double those up as well, like that. And there it is. That's pretty much it. It leaves you a space so that you can... Oh, I'll keep the drops there. If anything does survive, you can come in and you can attack it to kill it. It might be witches or something like that, or it could be a zombie with some gold armor. But at least you can get in and kill the things and get his drops. And there we go. That is pretty much finished. If I'll put some of this stuff in here because we don't need it. There we go. And that one, yep. So we've got plenty of storage in there. But yeah, there we go. There it is. It does look a bit funny with the lopsided waterways in there. If you've got really bad OCD, you can put the extra layer in there just to even it up. But I don't mind it. It kind of reminds me of a windmill like that. I think it's all right. So yeah, there we go. That's your little mob grinder. Like I said, with the bottom, if you find that you want the XP more than the drops, then you can just raise this level up 1 or 2. And then the stuff will survive and it'll be a one-hit kill and you can get the XP. But you can see, even standing here, we are getting spawns and we're getting drops coming down. And it works really effectively. And as long as it's near your base, you know, you could be working at your base here and your mob spawner is active and producing drops for you. So there you go, guys. Quick and easy mob grinder. Trying to get that pig out of the way. There we go. Quick and easy mob grinder for your Skyblock worlds. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give me a comment if you do things slightly differently. You let me know, and we'll pass it on to everyone. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.